So since we created the initial Mailchimp emails, Mailchimp has actually updated its email builder. So I'm going to go through the steps to create a new email and just take you through the new builder in this video. So we're going to go to create, and it will be a regular email. So we'll start off by giving the email a name. I'm just going to call it Sarah Test today. And you'll then need to select your recipients. So I'm just going to grab the Tuna's Choir emails from here. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to send this email out. And I normally make sure that we have at least a first name as a merge tag. It just helps with spam filters when emails are being sent. You'll need to select who it's from, but this should come up by default when you're setting up your emails, and you'll need to give the email a subject line. Once you've done that, you can go down to the content section and design your email. So you can still access the classic builder, but this is being withdrawn slowly over time by Mailchimp. So you may not actually get a choice at this stage when you log in. But if you do, we're going to select the new builder for the purposes of this video so I can take you through that process. So there are different templates now from Mailchimp that you can use. There's also saved templates that you may have saved templates, in the past. But for the purposes of this, because it's to show you kind of how things work, I'm just going to go with the start from scratch option, just to show you how we pull things into the email. So you will get taken through some tips as well by Mailchimp if this is your first time, which should help as well. So the layout has changed, and the actual blocks that you can pull in are all now over this side, and how your email looks will be here. Mailchimp will default to putting in a logo at the top, and you can set your logo by clicking on set logo and then uploading an image. It won't allow you to pull an image that's already in the image library. That's the only downside of this. So I generally delete this out and then use this add an image block, because there's already an image block in there, to add an image that's already in the image library. Now I'm in a Tuneless account here that's got all sorts of images in it. So let me just see if I can find a file called logo in here, because I'm not 100% sure if there is one, but let's have a look. No, it's not going to find one. Let me just see if I can find the Tuneless logo in here quickly to bring in and show you. So you shouldn't have as many images as we've got in here. There we go, I've got the Tuneless logo here. So I'm just going to click insert. So that's how you bring in an image, and that will be set up by default. If you want to put any other images in, you can just drag this image block over to wherever you want the image to go in the email, and it's exactly the same process. You can either upload an image from your computer or browse the images that are already here. So I just grab that one, and that image will go in. You can change some of the settings of the image, but generally as they go in is okay. So if you want to add in some text, you might want to add in a heading. So you would bring in a heading block, type in the text, and then you can change the background of this block. So you might want it on a blue background like this, and you can do that here. You can also add in colours. If you know the hex code for the colours you want to use, you can add it in there as well. Again, you can change some of the padding. Now, padding is about the position of the content within the block. So as you can see, that heading text is quite centered, but the blue goes across the thing. So if I reduce this padding to 10, you'll see the heading has just moved a little bit. Generally, the defaults are fine, but if you do feel that you want to make changes, then you can do that to tweak things here. In terms of the way that the font comes up, this is now a little bit different. You actually have to go into styles. And within styles, you can set different things. So you can set the background of the email. So the background color is this gray area here, and the body color is the white part there. So you can do that. You can even put an image in. And then the text itself, you can set the font and sizes for paragraphs, heading 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as the colors. So you can do all of that in here, and that will then carry throughout the whole email whenever you've set those different types of text. And the same applies to links. So links will be styled differently according to what you've set at this point, and it's mainly the colour and whether it's bold, underline, italics that you'll do. You can also set a default for buttons, which might be useful if you want to pull the tuneless colours through for those, and likewise for dividers if you put any dividers in. So that's just to let you know that. Now those settings will carry over to mobile, but you can tweak them for mobile. It's generally around sizing, and it brings up the preview now of how it will look. So that heading there is quite big on mobile, so we can just reduce the size of it by doing this, but that will reduce the size of all heading ones throughout the whole email if you do that. Optimize is using some of the AI tools that Mailchimp has got in place, and it will tell you if there's any errors in your website. It's very limited in a free account, and I generally wouldn't worry too much about using it. However, if you have used any merge tags, which I'll take you through in a moment, it might be worth using that to check those. So let's get back up to add. So once you've got a heading in, you might want to add some text. You'll just add in the paragraph excuse me, and just start typing. And what you'll see is that at the top of the screen now, you've got the option of actually changing this from a paragraph to a heading, and changing the fonts if you wish to do so. So you've got lots of different fonts available to you over here, colours, and all the other settings that you would have had in the old system. And you can also add in merge tags. So this is where you might want to add in, sorry, I thought my phone was on silent. Let me just turn that off. So you can add in merge tags. Generally first name is the one that most people would want to add in, but these are based on what data you've got, so there's lots there. But first name will go in like that, so you can actually put the recipient's name into the emails if you wish to do so. And then the other block options, buttons, this is something you may well want to use as a button. So you bring in your button, you can change your colours and things over here, and then your link will be put in here, and it can either be a web link, email, phone, a file if you want to upload a file to send, or a landing page. And then just to edit the actual text on the button, you just highlight it here and just type over it, just like that. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Other things that you might want to use, you may want to drop in video. So again, you just pull that video block over, and you can upload an image if you wish to do so for a thumbnail, or if you put in a YouTube URL, it will generate a thumbnail for you. So that's how video works. There's codes, but I don't think you'll want any code blocks. And then the other thing to look at is layouts. So if you want to have columns of text rather than just one long email, so say you want to feature, say, 3 images, you can drag over a 3-column block, and into that block you can then drop images. So you can drop an image into this one, and let me just grab some images in just to give you a view of how this will then look. And this one. So this is quite nice because the way that you set up columns in the previous version of the builder wasn't quite so good. So this way you can do things a little bit nicer. And I'll just put another one in there just to give you a view of how this would look, just with 3 images in it, just to show you. So you can have that block of 3 images. So that layout section is quite nice if you want to add extra things in. There's also these pre-built layouts of images with text and text and text next to each other. But generally I would say use the blank layouts, because that's going to be easier for you, I think, to manipulate and work with going forward. Hopefully this clarifies everything and shows you how that new builder works. But if you've got any questions about it, then do let us know. Although I will add, actually, before I finish the video, that once you've done the email and you're happy with it, go up to preview so that you can have a look at how it looks on the average desktop and mobile. The inbox won't work because that's only in paid accounts. And then you can use this arrow to send yourself a test email. You could also save this as a template so you can pick it up and use it in the future. But once you're happy, click Save and Exit. It will ask you if you want to use this as your default builder, particularly if you're using somebody else's previous account or you've not yet set a default builder. So depending on, I'm not going to do it in this account because we've got lots of things in the classic builder and I don't want to mess them up here. But you could set it as your default if this is your new account and it's the only one you're going to be using. Once you're happy and ready to send it, you'll need to add in a send time. So either schedule a time for the future if you have that option, and if you're in a brand new account that's free, you won't have that option. You'll have to click send now and click save. And then you'll click on the send button to actually send that email out to the people that are on the list. Hopefully that's helpful, but as I said, any questions, do let me know.